A new supplement developed by Canadian scientists could help prevent postpartum depression in new moms by treating them right away. So far, clinical tests have shown great success in reducing symptoms.
And she was born and I was basically catatonic. That was, I would say, like just the most challenging experience.
So researchers at CAMH determined that a protein called MAOA spikes post-childbirth, blocking many key chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. The supplement is taken in 4 doses starting 3 days after a woman gives birth. In the trial, 66% of those who took the doses either experienced no symptoms or negligible symptoms of postpartum depression. Joining me now to discuss is Dr. Jeffrey Meyer. He's a senior scientist at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. Good morning. Thanks so much, Doctor, for being with us. First of all, can you talk to us about how widespread and serious postpartum depression is among women?
Certainly, it's the most common complication of childbearing with a 13% prevalence. So it's really an important issue. And on top of that, once someone gets a postpartum depression, they're at high risk for future depressions. So it's really a pivotal issue, no question.
All right. So then your scientists decide to come up with a supplement, a nutraceutical, so it's considered natural. How does it work, doctor?
Sure. So I invented it, and it's composed of 3 components. One component is an antioxidant, and that's to counter this protein of elevated MAOA that you mentioned before. Another thing that MAOA does is it removes certain brain chemicals like serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. And so the ingredients of the supplement also include tryptophan and tyrosine, which are building blocks and replace these other chemicals that are needed in order to have a healthy, normal mood.
And tell us more about your test results then. What did they show? What did you see in women?
Sure. So in this study of just over 100 women, we found that the severity of postpartum blues was lower in those that took the supplement as compared to those that don't. And as well, we found that 3 to 6 months later, women had less depressive symptoms in those that took the supplement as compared to those that don't. Maybe I should clarify that postpartum blues is a set of symptoms that typically happen in the first few days postpartum that include crying, sad mood, trouble with energy, trouble that goes beyond taking care of a newborn, trouble with appetite, anxiety, restlessness. And while it's unpleasant, it's considered in the healthy range. But when it's severe, it creates a much greater risk for postpartum depression, as much as a 4-fold or greater risk of getting postpartum depression. So there's this window of postpartum blues that the supplement reduces. That's really an important opportunity to try to help women go onto a healthy path.
So how will new mothers that are watching this get access, doctor?
So the intent is to distribute the supplement throughout the world, and the rate at which a country can get the supplement will be dependent, of course, on the regulatory requirements. So we'll, of course, respect whatever Health Canada's opinion is and regulations regarding that. And so the next step will be to approach Health Canada further with the study, which just published yesterday.
And when do you think then the supplement will be available?
Well, in the U.S., it's available today, but in terms of Canada, it'll really be dependent on Health Canada's decision-making processes. And so hopefully that won't be very long, but it's ultimately up to Health Canada to make the call.
It seems like this is a real game changer, doctor. What other options are there for women right now who are experiencing postpartum blues and are concerned that it could turn into postpartum depression?
Well, I think it's a challenging situation because we don't really have widespread ways to prevent postpartum blues as a strategy to prevent postpartum depression. If someone's already at high risk for getting a postpartum depression, then there may be certain ways to approach things, whether you might think about a therapy or perhaps even an antidepressant. But in general, we don't have widespread methods to try to stop postpartum depression. And so someone who's at no particularly elevated risk for getting postpartum depression, we don't really have an approach yet. We know that postpartum depression has this 13% prevalence rate, so we do need widespread ways to prevent it.
Okay, and one last question, just to be clear, doctor, in case people are wondering, this is only for women experiencing postpartum. There's no other application or use for this drug. If you are experiencing depression, could you take this nutraceutical?
Well, the study that we've done is to look at it for the effect on postpartum blues. And so that is the direction that, that we're going to be advocating for it as it goes through the regulatory processes. The next direction that we're very interested in looking at is also perimenopause depression and perimenopause depression symptoms. But that's, we haven't done the study for yet. Right now it's the postpartum blues. There could be more applications beyond this, but this is where we're starting.
All right, that's great. You've been busy. We understand. All right, keep with it. It's great news for women. Dr. Jeffrey Meyer, he's a senior scientist at CAMH. Appreciate you being with us this morning.